What's going on, recruiting world? Welcome back to R.A.R.E Podcast, real authentic recruiting experiences. This is Coach Clark. You can follow me on Twitter at Coach Clark23 or Athletic Trust One. Hope everybody's doing well during the shutdown. We're still doing the COVID-19 shutdown. Hope everybody's doing good. Just wanted to update you on some new topics that I've been getting a lot of phone calls on the previous podcasts, previous shows, episodes. Today, we're going to talk about parents and players, their bond and plan during the recruiting process. Their bond and their plan during the recruiting process. As we all know, when you enter high school, probably starts in the middle school, all the players are thinking about what college they want to go to. They're watching every Saturday, man, all these different universities. I want to go to this college. I want to go to this college. They have all these dreams. And the parents watch their kids from the park, middle school, talking about these different colleges, watching them and their friends when they spend a night over their house. Man, I want to go to this college. I want to go to that great college. It could be 1 hour away. It could be 12 hours away on a whole nother coast. But they see the kids dreaming, and the parents want to help the kids so bad accomplish their dreams. What happens in this recruiting process is there's not a book. There's not a one-on-one book and telling you what the steps to take. What's the plan? What should you do? I've been in this recruiting world for over the last 10 years, and I've seen everything imaginable, and I learn something new every year. But today, we're just going to talk about what the parents and players have to do as a team, as a bond, as a commitment to each other to accomplish the goal, which is getting a scholarship and playing college football. One of the things I want to talk about, and I have a few topics that I wrote down about this bond and this plan. But before I start those topics, parents, understand this. Players, understand this. It is teamwork. You're going to get on each other's nerves. You're going to agree. You're going to disagree. The key is coming back to the table and having a conversation and coming up with a solution to whatever situation that you have. Because ultimately you came into this not knowing anything. That's just the truth. You don't know what you don't know. So I know a lot of people out here with negative energy and coaches or other people say, man, you don't know what you're doing. You're right. They don't. So parents are just trying to figure out the best process for their kid. They're trying to help their kid. They have a dream. Players have a dream, and they just trying to do whatever because they think that's what you're supposed to do. So I'm just giving a few gems on this, and we're going to go ahead and get started on this topic today, parents and players. The first thing that I would recommend on your bond and your plan is go meet with your high school coach, because the first objective to get the scholarship is you need varsity film. So all these steps that I'm going over is for you. The key, and what I think a lot of people miss out, is what are you going to do to become a varsity starter? Did you ask yourself that? Are we doing this for this plan for the college scholarship, or are we doing this plan to be a varsity starter? Really, you're doing it for both. But the first number one step is to contribute to being a varsity starter by your junior year, definitely. There's going to be steps that you have to take on your ninth grade year. And it's okay. Parents, it's okay. Don't go into high school. My kid need to be playing varsity based on their record. It might not be good this year in varsity, could be good, or you just in your feelings about your kid should be starting varsity. No, you should be making sure that you have this bond and this plan with your kid, and it helps everything work itself out. So I would say is meet with your high school coach, step number one. Sit down with your coach, go over a plan and the process, see what they have first. to offer you, because hopefully they have the knowledge and they've been doing it long enough, meaning that they're coaching high school football and they've been doing the recruiting love enough, helping their former players and parents as well. So go meet with your high school coach, see if he has a plan in place that you should be working on. Because step one, when you're entering the ninth grade, I think your plan should be your grades and your nutrition and working out. So when you meet with your coach, if he doesn't have a plan, here's a few steps. You have to be on their grades. Sit down with your kid once a week, pick a day, Monday through Friday. I'm not really sure which one you want to pick. And now these days in 2020, you have the parent portal. Pick a day and check it with your kid weekly. Sit down with your son, say, hey, here we are. We're going to check the grades. You get any updates? Because teachers make mistakes. It could be bad grades. It could be something not put in. Grades could be affected. Now, parents, you can reach out to the teacher and say, hey, this is my child's grade. If there are any questions, comments, concern, you can be hands-on every week. Also, this makes your son accountable as well, to know that the parent is checking. Because most kids don't want to hear parents say, man, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. They know we coming to the table every Thursday, checking the grades, seeing what's going on, making sure your test grades are good, your homework assignments are good, projects assignments. So if there's any situation going on, you can catch it. It's a plan. It's not to be all on your back. They need to manage this. Let your parents manage the situation. Parents, it's hard. It's difficult. You work all day. You got maybe 2-3 kids. You might not just have one. So you have to manage all of them. So this is a project you can do with them, with your athletes or non-athletes. But definitely this is about your athletes. Sit down every week. Hold your kid accountable. Because guess what? I didn't just think of this bright idea. I consulted with my college coaches. They have academic advisors. They look at the players' grades. They know what's going on, so they can get the alert if something's going on with their college player to say, hey, call my man in, and we got to get this straight. Make sure you're going to classes, because when you're in college, you got different classes. You get up, wake up, but they have a track of everything now. They're making sure that the players are going to class. They're making sure that the grades are on point, because that's the only way their system is going to be successful. Everything has to be on point. They have to track it. So parents, you have to start tracking this in the 9th grade, making sure everything is accountable, even if they're making straight A's, because the moment that you don't keep track and understanding, and then when they slip down to the 79 or C, right there at the C, 1 point below, and you say, hey, you've been making A's and I haven't checked it in 4 weeks. What happened? So just keep updated and keep checking it and making sure that we're working together, because everybody is not an A-B student. Some players need attention to detail. So you might have to set a plan with the teacher, a goal, and making sure that they have the great study habits. Every subject is different, especially your core grades, because that's what the colleges want, the math and the English. So some players might need extra help with math skills or English skills. So they might need to study every day, 30 minutes on that subject. What did you go over? Just to get repetitions, just like going to football practice every day. You're doing it for repetition and making sure you know all your plays and everything on point. So that's your first step about your grades. Set a schedule every week. Make sure you're maintaining it. The next step is your nutrition plan. Parents, these kids cannot be varsity starters and you don't have any weight. You don't have any strength. You don't have any energy. We see too many kids these days. They don't eat breakfast. They halfway eat lunch at school. And then you want them to go to practice all day. They can't perform. When they can't perform, the high school coach is not going to put them on the field, because a lot of times they don't have any energy. We have to make sure that we are feeding our kids, parents, players. You have to eat. If you don't eat, then hey, unless you're just that talented, eventually you're gonna run out of gas somewhere. You're gonna cramp up. You could cause a injury to yourself. So take accountability again, parents. It's setting up a time, it's setting up a schedule. Get up in the morning. I'm not saying you have to cook a Saturday breakfast, pancakes, eggs, just a big old breakfast, but just something that you could prepare your son on eating. And also, it's a skill that you're teaching them that they need to learn anyway on how to cook. So you can watch your kids cook, teach them the simple things, eggs, grits, bacon, or, whatever you eat. If you're a vegetarian, if you just got an omelet, spinach, mushrooms, and grits or oatmeal. Now they're learning how to cook. So as they get older, they know how to move around the kitchen as well. So that's a skill that they need to learn anyway. But parents, you want to make sure they eat breakfast by saying, hey, you got up, you got your stuff together. I know that my child sat down and ate breakfast because I saw them. You don't have to sit there, watch them eat it. You just say, hey, I know that they did this. Now, let's get to the lunches. A lot of kids don't like the school lunches. Understandably, they might not be the best. So parents, whatever you cook the night before, let's say you cook some chicken and starch and vegetables, put it in a small container, make them a lunch container before they make their meal for tonight, put it in the refrigerator. Now that's their lunch. They can take that to school and warm it up. It's 2020. I'm pretty sure every high school has a microwave. And make sure that, now they can't say they didn't get to eat because they didn't like the lunch. They could take their lunch. And then parents, of course, when they get home, let me back up. If you want to put a couple of granola bars or some fruit together, something they can have a snack, because some kids' lunch are early, some are late. So when they go to practice, they still are kind of hungry. So they have something in between, some fruit that they can eat, before practice. Because they have a long day starting. Typically, some schools start at 7, some start at 8. They don't practice till, 4 o'clock. So it's a long day depending on what time they had lunch. And then next, dinner. Parents, hold them accountable again. You know that you cook a good dinner, they have eaten. Now they have eaten 3 meals a day. And we haven't even discussed putting in the supplements. But just as your 9th grader getting in, no matter what grade they're in, really, but you just want to make sure that they have their daily nutrition. Now, parents, you only can be responsible for breakfast and dinner. Players, you have to hold yourself accountable for lunch. Your parents are providing it. Be respectful. Keep in mind, be appreciative that they're a part of this bond. They're a part of this plan. They're working every day. They're providing the money to go out and buy these extra things. Might have to buy extra groceries to make sure that you eat. So parents and players, again, this is on the topic of bonding. You have to sit down and have this conversation and say, hey, I'm managing you, but you got to make sure that it's happening. And it's not going to be overnight, parents and players. You're going to get on each other's nerve, but you have to realize it's for the goal. Because if you don't set the goal, now you're not accomplishing being that varsity star to being able to make plays. Because if you have the right nutrition, if you sit down with your coach and you're taking the simple supplements, if you're a skilled player and you need to gain weight and you got to add that protein shake with that breakfast in the morning to get the calories. If you're a big guy, big D line, O line, you just need quality food to maintain because you're already big. So you might not need is the big supplements. So that's something you have to discuss with your coach. So you have to be in your right weight category because that's the only thing we can control. So when you go to school and your coach is training you, that's where you develop your muscles because you've already taken care of what you needed to eat. Because the high school coaches can't feed you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's just not a platform for that. Some schools do have, where the parents kick in and they buy the little. I know I was talking to one of my players after they work out, the coaches give them a R.A.R.E protein shake. Well, that costs a lot of money when you buying cases and cases of protein shakes. So ultimately, you just want to make sure parents, if you're sticking together, it's a bond, it's a plan. All the parents go in together and say, hey, coach is providing this early morning workout or afternoon workout. We want to be able to give our kids some type of fruit or nutrition. Parents go in together. If it's 100 players, typically in a football program, if all the parents kick in and divide up, whatever the cost of fruit in bulk or supplements in bulk and that the coach can administer, let's do it. It all helps the whole team. We got to work together. But today, like I said, we're just talking about the players and parents bond on that's the nutrition part. Workout. Now that transition, you ate good, you're working out, you might get a good lift at school, but you want to get something else extra at an outside trainer. Again, go to your coach, confirm it with them saying, hey, we want to go get this extra training in because I know you don't have enough time. And let them make, because they might have a suggestion. Now, coaches, I know some of these coaches, I don't like my guy going to an outside guy. Well, then you have to provide it. Provide the extra time. But it's easier for you to go do research and develop a partnership with some of these training coaches, position coaches, and let's get the workout. So now parents, you might have to work extra hours. You have to budget and get you a trainer. It's definitely needed. Again, you want to make sure you got everything in place so you can catch the attention of your high school coach to be a varsity starter. It's starting to all make sense. But again, you have to have this bond and this plan to work it together, because now you got a schedule. Because parents, you have to wake up early now. You got to make sure breakfast is ready. You got to make sure when you get off, you got to make sure you get them transportation to the trainer, to the ACT prep person. We'll talk about that next. But the training, get into the workouts, making sure everything is good. Because when you take them to the trainer, if it's after school and they going from 5 to 6 or 6 to 7, guess what, parents? You got to make sure dinner is ready for the family, and making sure maybe preparation. So you might have to drop them off, come back and get them. They might have to catch an Uber there, catch an Uber back, and make sure that you have everything on your cell phone. Put on Life 365 so you can watch your kid, making sure where they're at. Parents, hold them accountable. Just don't trust them to say, hey, get in this Uber, get in this Lyft, or ride with a friend. Make sure you got on that Life 365 and you're steadily in contact. So if your kid is saying, hey, I'm going to get on this Uber, call me when you get there, call me when you're headed home. Have on your phone, it's Life 365. It's an app. Put on your kid's phone, put on your phone, so now you can see where they're at all times, and just hold them accountable. It's not just being on their shoulders, but it's just making sure they understand, and it stops them from doing foolishness in between and where they're supposed to be. Keep that relationship with your trainer so you can say, hey, did he come today? Making sure that they went to that training, because kids are kids. They'll do whatever. Say, I went to training today and it was canceled. So make sure you have a relationship with that trainer as well, so they can check in with you to say, hey, we don't have training today. We'll put you in this. Most trainers might have the app, GroupMe app, so they can send out to their group, hey, no training today. Make sure you're putting in that app. So again, we're working together. We got the bond, we got the plan. We're working out, we training. Now, what we go to, I get a lot of big questions. ACT, SAT prep. We got to have a plan. Start prepping early. The game has changed so much with the SAT and ACT. I used to recommend taking it after your junior season. Now I'm recommending take it after your sophomore season. You've been in the school a year and a half just to get a feel for it. And then now once you get the results, if you don't like your results, you can go get you ACT, SAT prep coordinator that can help you work on it as a sophomore. So by the time the summer hits as a sophomore, you can take it again, and then you get better and better, and not panic your junior year when they only allow it 5 times going into your senior year, because you don't want to take it during the season. You don't play it all Friday night, and now you're looking at just being tired Saturday morning taking it. So I would recommend, it's just to student athletes or just students, test it after your sophomore season, December of your sophomore year, and just take the test. Take each one. I say take each one because you never know which one you do the best on. And then, like I said, if you do good, keep moving forward. If you don't have high numbers, now you go find you an academic or ACT, SAT coach, somebody that can take you through the steps. Storm Johnson, his mom, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, they do a great job here in Atlanta on the ACT prep. They have a system. So look around in your state and find out who that ACT, SAT prep person is, because that become a course every Saturday that you might have to take. And it costs money. Again, parents, it's a process. You got to go through it because every kid is not a 4.0 student. They don't get it. They need help. Parents, players, be appreciative of what your parents are doing. Respect it. And on top of this, all this is just still teaching your kid life skills, cleaning up every day, still making things happen that you're supposed to do, even if you wasn't an athlete. Cleaning up your room, making sure the trash is taken out. Just the simple everyday things, parents, making sure that you have this on this list. Because as the train is running, you're running all day, every day. And then when you come into some stumbling blocks, you got to handle outside life. And you got to also handle the process of trying to get this college scholarship. Another topic is camps, college trips, college camps. I tell parents all the time, you have to invest in your kid. Just think of it as if the kid wasn't playing sports. Would you take college trips? Yes, you would. So go ahead and start early. It's okay to go to the college camps your 9th and 10th grade year to kind of just get a feel. You get to see, you pull up at a camp and you say, man, it's 1,000 kids out here. That lets you know everybody is trying to on the same path. So that means you have to work harder at the other steps I just gave you, because it's another kid in Alaska, it's another kid in California, it's another kid in New York, New Jersey, Chicago, Portland, Oregon, North Dakota, it's high schools, Minnesota. These kids are all just trying to get to the same place. And it's only a limited number of scholarships given out every year. So you have to work hard. So if you go to a camp early as in 9th grade and you see, hey, there's a lot of kids out here, everybody's in the process, and go on every level. Just don't go to the big Power 5 schools. Go to a mid-major. Go to the D1 AA school. So look at your area first, because that's where usually your recruiting starts. So we're here in Georgia, so it's okay to go to, we have plenty of Power 5s. We got plenty of mid-majors. And we got plenty of D1 AAs or D2 schools in the area, 1 hour to 3 hours away, I would recommend as a 9th grader. And if you go to 4 camps, once again, I'm not saying miss any of your practices, but these are camps on Saturday. So I'm pretty sure your high school is not practicing on a Saturday. And just go to a camp. So you got 4 weeks in June, you go to a camp every Saturday. You start with a Power 5, you got a mid-major, D1 AA, and a D2. Now you get to see on every level how the facilities are, what their structure is. You get to talk to the strength coaches. You get to talk to the college coaches. Hopefully your high school coaches set you up. And you ask these same questions I'm speaking in the video. How do you feel about my eating nutrition plan, the workout plan, going to camps, the ACT, SAT prep? Ask the coaches. They're going to repeat it to you. I didn't just make this up. I've just accumulated all this information over the last 10 years. So we just want to make sure everything is in place. You go to these camps, you get to work hard, you get to see the structure that the college coaches are providing, and then you bring that back to your high school and show, man, I got to put in a lot of work. So everything that my high school coach is saying, I need to be really paying attention to. Because if you do everything in your power and get your high school coach's attention, guess who's going to give you the best shot of being on the varsity field? Your high school coach. If he sees your hard work, he sees your dedication on and off the field, he sees your character, he sees your Twitter, what's going on, your high school coach going to put everything into you. Every time a coach come in, I guarantee he going to speak about you, whether you 5'5" or whether you 6'5", because it just rubs off on you that, hey, man, I know this guy is 5'10" at linebacker, but he could play. You see him as a 9th grader now, but wait till he is a senior. I'm telling you, this guy is going to be lights out. I saw a good opportunity with this. I just want to take me out of it. Ryan Andrews was at Shiloh. He had built those guys from the 9th grade, and it was I can't think of the linebacker name right now. I should have looked it up. I just thought of it. The kid was all of 5'10", 6 foot. Hey, Ryan Andrews talked about this kid the first day I went over there and just checked him out at practice. Now I think that kid is going to Mercer University. But he wasn't a 6'1", 6'2" linebacker, but the kid had all the heart in America. He would work out. He would just focus. Anything you tell him, he'll try it. He'll hit the weight room. He got bigger, stronger, and I think he got the scholarship his senior year. He had the grades. He just trusted the process. So everything that you have to do doesn't mean you're just trying to go to the biggest university. Sorry about that. We got cut off. I got an Amber Alert on my phone, so for some reason it cut me off. But I'll just wrap it up. I think I was saying you just have to follow this structure, follow this plan. Parents and players, it's just important that you hear me on this. You have to have a plan and you have to have a bond together. Make this a fun experience. You have to make it a fun experience. If you make it a fun experience, it's going to be a learning experience, it can work out. And again, when you have bumps in the road, don't try to argue and figure it out yourself. Go speak with your high school coach, or if you have a consultant advisor, somebody like myself, you go speak with them about what you're going through, because a lot of the arguments or debates that you have is because you don't have experience in it and y'all are just trying to figure it out. So hopefully this is help you and getting it together. So this player and parent bond, again, check the grades every week together. Speak with your high school coach on the process, your nutrition process, your workout, your college camps, your character. Just let's work on this plan together, because one day you're going to have to hang up the cleats, and everything that you just worked on help life experiences. So I just wanted to reach out again. I hope everybody's doing well during this COVID-19 shutdown, and make it a great day. And again, have your R.A.R.E experiences, real authentic recruiting experiences. Got any questions, comments, concern? You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Coach Clark 23, or Athletic Trust 1. That's the number 1. And look forward to you and seeing you next week with some new R.A.R.E topics, R.A.R.E experiences. Have a great day.